If there's a day that is a loss on tour because of the bad weather, they cover that. They protect travelers' investment if there are any cancellations due to medical situation, a job loss, or death in the family, and you're not able to travel, they cover for that. And that's not an extra payment that you have to make. It's actually included within the price total. So that's part of their global travel protection plan. Okay. All right. Okay, so like I had mentioned before, oh wait.
Should I go back?
Is there a slide before? Okay, no, I was on the wrong one. Okay, so they like to keep things affordable, and because of that, we do want to keep in mind, because we're traveling in a large group, that our departure date window can be anywhere from June 7th to June 15th. But we will be out of school prior to leaving. Okay, so that's really important to us, is that we finish off the semester here at North before we jump in the car and head out to the airport. But we want to be flexible as well, because we're traveling with other students from other areas in the country. Be mindful of that, but there's it's just a tentative date right now. I think ours is set for June 11th, and so it could be 2 to 4 days before June 11th or 2 to 4 days after June 11th, and that'll just going to ensure that we get the best rate. Okay, so let's see backwards in here. All right, global protection plan. I think I kind of talked about that yet. For cancellation, illnesses, accidents, baggage and progress, flight delay. Also, 24-hour access to an English-speaking representative. And we share enhances our tour. Okay.
So this is if you want credit.
Oh yes. Okay. If you want. Oh yeah, that's right. If you want credit for your tour, if you want, say, a high school credit, you can they'll assign you homework, and if you complete the project, the homework, you can get some high school credit for it. The high school credit is free. If you want to get college credit, they have their partners with, I think it's in New Hampshire University. You can receive up to 3 college credits for a small fee. I think the fee is like $125 for the credits. So you can get credit that way. And they have more information on that, and if you're interested in that, I can send that out to you. All right, so what will you be responsible for? You'll be responsible for any additional tour experiences, free time activities such as souvenirs, any shopping that you do, any drinks, any lunches or snacks, okay? And you can expect to spend anywhere between $30 to $65. However, that's something that you may want to plan with your family and budget for, because you may know how much you need to spend for a day. The other thing I forgot to mention is that the price includes breakfast and dinner, and that's typically because during midday we're out and about, and there may be some on-site locations, some carts, or some restaurants that are nearby where we are visiting, and that's when lunch is kind of like on your own during that time, and so you do want to bring some spending money for lunch then. But we'll have breakfast at the hotel, and then we'll end our day with dinner at the hotel. And in terms of like food, I think I was asking Lisa about it, and she said that breakfast is typically, a croissant, some fresh fruit, coffee and tea, juice. Sometimes they'll have hot entrees available as well. Dinner, you can expect a protein, some vegetables, and possibly dessert for dinner. So they try to pick meals that are, that would appeal to most people. If you have an allergy, food allergy or anything, then they can make accommodations for you. It is also expected that we bring money along for tips for the tour guide, bus driver, and local guides. I guess, in the countries they expect that when they're leading you or taking you to your destination that people will be tipping them. And so this is something that's new to me, and I don't really quite know how this works. But Lisa was kind of telling me, because I can only draw from her experience, is that what she did when she traveled with her students was the tour leader, the group leader, held the money and collected the money, and then once you made your destination or your tour guide or whatever, that was set, then she was the one who handed over the tip to that tour guide or the bus driver or whomever. So she kind of handled that. And so her idea for her group of students, and I thought this was a really great idea, is that she's going to try to fundraise money for that so that you don't have to bring additional money. And then on each of the individual days when you're out there, then that money that you fundraise for can just be used towards the tipping, and you won't have to bring additional
It's
funds for
usually
that.
3 to 5 euros a day.
3 to 5 euros a day?
Per person, per.
Okay. Do you have a quick question, Grace?
Yeah. So I know North, like, it doesn't allow you, North, the bank doesn't allow you to, like, raise spending money for your trip. And then obviously since we're in Manila, would we be going off of their fundraising?
No.
Okay.
Theirs is completely separate from ours.
Okay. And I know that I've also taken trips in the past with my mom, and we usually have 2 years to plan and fundraise for.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's just hard enough. I remember fundraising
Mhm.
for just Spain. And would we be like constantly fundraising with like any gaps in between, because
That's something we can talk about in a bit. Okay, that's a good question though. Okay, the other thing that you'll be responsible for is any extra airport baggage fees, and so you're allowed to bring one large piece of luggage that needs to be checked in. You are allowed to bring in your what's that called?
Carry-on.
Your carry-on, okay? So those 2 pieces of luggages are included, but if you have anything extra, that would not be included. And then, of course, you'll be responsible for your passport and visa fees if that applies.
Because that can take about 14 weeks to arrive for the, so it's good to
For the
plan ahead
passport.
for the passport. Yep.
So I would suggest that, as soon as you know that you're going to go, or if you have planned for it, then to just get that passport taken care of.
Mhm.
And they're pretty strict in the passport policy. If you think that your passport is going to expire, I think 6 months after you come back from the tour, then you might want to renew it beforehand.
Make sure you have your ID or your driver's license too also.
When you go for passports or when you're there.
We're gonna check both of them.
Okay.
Yep, when you board the airport, yes. Okay, so passports and visas are necessary documents. Anybody who goes needs to have a passport with them. All right, so everything that is included in the price, the round-trip flights on major carriers, a comfortable motor coach for traveling, hotels with private bathrooms. The way the hotels works is that I believe there are 3 to 4 students, okay, and it's not co-ed, per hotel room that you will be sharing. Breakfast and dinner daily, full-time bilingual tour director, sightseeing led by licensed guides, entrance fees to select attractions. We share EF's online platform for a deeper learning experience, so those are the credits that you would receive for high school or college if you choose to. Global travel protection plan, the education itinerary that's included, and our tour donation, or the tour donation page, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And so this is the price that we're looking at for the trip. Okay, and it also includes Monet's Giverny Gardens activity, the protection plan. There is an early enrollment discount, which is taken off right away. Peace of Mind program is included. And so for students who are under the age of 20, which I believe all of you guys will be next year, it will be the $3,920, okay, or 17 monthly payments of the $225. If there's a parent who wants to come along, this will be the price for the parent, $4,315. And the reason why it's more for adults or anyone over 20 is because the admission fees are more, and adults, the hotel stays for adults are double occupancy versus the 3 to 4 for students. Okay, so payment options is what we have for payment options. You can pay in full at enrollment. Everything can be done online, by the way. We don't actually handle any of the cash.